I read issue 2 of Ben 10, so let's talk about it. Probably don't need to say this, but spoilers ahead, so hit that like button, go read the comic, and come back here. So the issue starts off with Gwen over at the Rust Bucket complaining about how everything going on with Ben is totally not her fault, even though it kind of is, and she stumbles upon a weird blinking light in the Rust Bucket that she never noticed before, and that's when she comes across Max's old tech when he was a plumber inside the Rust Bucket. And I really do like that they are coming across the secret of Max being a plumber a lot earlier in the series, as that's such a common and known fact about these characters in the franchise, so it makes sense that they're not going to try to drag on that storyline too long in the comic. But back with Ben, we see him having a really natural reaction as he blasts, wondering what the heck is going on with his body and why he can't even turn back to normal. His freak out is a pretty cool fun back to how he first acted when he was Heat Blast in the original series, but then we get another cool callback to the original series where the Omnitrix finally flashes red as it's timing out, but we get a brand new twist here where instead of it timing out, we see something else happening to Ben's transformation. We see Ben transforming from alien to alien in this really graphic, detailed way, where he starts off as Heat Blast, transforming to Upgrade, then he turns into Gray Matter, then Wildvine. After that, we see Stinkfly growing out of Wildvine, then Overflow's face takes over Stinkfly's body. Then he finally begins to transform as Accelerate, and then that's when Ben is finally able to transform back into a human all of a sudden. He is tired, he is panicking so bad, and he is just crying it on the ground, wanting to go home. And by far, this is probably one of my favorite versions of Ben 10 so far, because this does feel like such a natural reaction to have if you were in this situation. But this sets up such a great mystery of what we're going to be seeing of how the Omnitrix is working, and it's also a great way to showcase most of the aliens already, even though we're in issue 2. But after all the chaos passes over, we see Max trying to look for Ben, accidentally coming across this US base being built in the middle of nowhere. We see them take Max into custody to interrogate him a bit, and we see Razum being the one to interrogate him. It seems they don't completely trust Max during this moment, because they find it a little bit strange that they would be camping out in the middle of nowhere, even though that shouldn't really be a weird thing. I see plenty of people camp out in the middle of nowhere, but it makes sense of why they're so on high alert right now, because the alien watch had fallen out of the sky and they're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. But I really do love this moment though, because it does give us a pretty good showcase of how calm and collected this version of Max can be, especially in situations where they're trying to ask him about his past. We see Ben back on his feet trying to figure out where the heck he is, but when he looks up in the sky, he sees another object coming towards the sky, and he knows that doesn't mean anything good. That's when it's revealed that the object coming down from the sky is actually the Ben 10 villain Crab, as it looks like he's been sent down to Earth to try to retrieve the Omnitrix for Vilgax. And oh my gosh, I love this modern design. Nothing will beat the original design of Crab, but I think this is a pretty good modern design for this character. But along with Crab tracking down Ben's location, it seems the US military has also done the same thing, as Ben is trying to hide from them in this moment. And when Ben finds the opportunity to try to run from the military, they find him, and that's when the Omnitrix starts to activate once again, causing Ben to panic a bit because he does not want to go through that transformation once again. And that's when we get to the next big alien reveal of this series, that being Cannonbolt. And yep, I still have plenty of mixed feelings about that design. We see Ben as Cannonbolt, and this does raise a pretty interesting question for me in this series, and that's if Ben does know how to use his aliens pretty much instantly the moment he becomes them within this comics run, because we see him pretty much knowing for a fact that Cannonbolt can roll up and get away from the military like he wants to. We see Rosalind and Max leaving the tent after an interrogation as Max is trying to get away from this whole situation, but Rosalind is still a little bit suspicious of him. But that's when a soldier comes by to give Rosalind this new information of something that arrived to Earth. Grandpa Max himself is also curious of what is going on here, and we see the US military making their way to some new threat. And in this panel here, we see them finally coming across their target, that being Crab, and yep, it is definitely not going to go very well for the military in this moment here. We see Crab being an absolute monster on the military as he is impaling them, chopping them up in half, and oh my gosh, Crab is not messing around when it comes to this iteration of Ben 10. And I love how this moment here perfectly sets the tone of the violence we're going to be seeing within this comic run. I am so excited for that. Like, thinking Ben 10 with the kind of violence we see in Invincible gives me so many goosebumps, and I cannot wait to explore what kind of gruesome world we are going to be seeing here. And towards the end of the issue, we see Ben managing to escape from the danger that was chasing him, but then he comes across a brand new danger when he sees these lights in front of him. And that threat is, of course, Ben's cousin Gwen trying to run over Ben as Cannonball, and honestly, she does have a pretty understandable reaction here, because if I was in her shoes, I would probably also do the same thing, because I have no idea what the heck Cannonball is, and if I had just found out that my theories of aliens being real is true, I would probably have the same reaction of making sure they're not trying to take over the planet. And the issue just ends right there, and oh my gosh, I cannot believe it ended there. I can definitely tell that there are some improvements with this issue compared to issue 1. Like, issue 1 felt like they were trying to redo stuff from the origins of Ben 10 of what we know, but everything from this issue felt very new and refreshing to me. I also feel like the pacing in this issue is a lot smoother than the pacing we saw in issue 1. Everything feels like they are going in the right direction when it comes to the paneling, and I am really enjoying where the story for this new version of Ben 10 seems to be going, especially since it seems to be hitting the right vibe of what I wanted out of a mature Ben 10 project. It's cool to see that most of the aliens have already been introduced up to issue 2. The only one that has been introduced is Diamond Head, which I cannot wait to see in issue 3, along with more of Crab. Oh my gosh, Crab was such an absolute menace, and he perfectly sets the tone of how brutal this version of Ben 10 is gonna be. Like, seriously, if we saw Crab doing that to a bunch of US soldiers, imagine how much of a threat Vilgax is gonna be when he finally comes to Earth.